Morning show where we talk about the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Britt Morin.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim.
Woo.
Hi, everyone.
Today we're going to talk about Broad City's 5th and final season, as well as Twitter saying adios to the like button. Plus, E! News host Giuliana Rancic and entrepreneur Bill Rancic join the table. But first, I don't know if you guys can notice, I look a little more beautiful today.
Oh, yes.
A little bit more makeup, guys. We'll get to that later. That's why Britt's joining us, who's going to lead a very special makeup tutorial. But before we get to that, I don't know if you all saw Cardi B drag Nicki Minaj on Instagram yesterday with a post of about 10 videos. Yeah. It was unreal. I watched every single one multiple times. I remember I emailed all you like, we have to talk about this tomorrow.
Cardi B gives the best reads. I mean, I don't know if it's productive, but it's really entertaining.
I'm a street bitch, I don't snitch, was one of her lines. And if we could talk about it or fight about it, up to you. That's what she said too.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know, I do think it is productive because she's being very straightforward with Nicki. She's being open. She has receipts for days. And like literally all she's saying is like, listen, you're being kind of catty about this. You're paying so much attention to me. Pay attention to yourself. And I really think that Nicki should do that.
Was anyone else distracted by her giant nails and like the metal things all over her head? Because I was just like,
her giant nails on her phone. She was like, let me show you this.
How does she text anybody? It's just like the nails get in the way.
And the thousands of not read text messages.
All the bars. Her phone number.
No, those were all those bars.
Her phone number was leaked, right?
Nicki leaked her phone number, and she then leaked Nicki's phone number. She said, I called you on this number. She showed up with a 914 number. My favorite part was when she was like, I listened to you growing up. You're ruining your legacy by coming off like a hater. She is. She's ruining it.
That's so
like,
true.
Nicki looks horrible in this, I think.
I agree.
I agree. Yeah. I also really love the part where she was like, you keep on saying that I'm trying to stop your bag, but literally you're only getting paid because I'm rejecting things. And then she plays the Little Mix song. And I'm like, oh, Nicki was second choice on that.
Everything.
But then Nicki shot back and she was like, but Fashion Nova asked me to be a part of them first before you. So then they're just so back and forth. I think, and you'll love this, Nicki needs to take a page from Madonna's book. And Madonna really sort of does collaborations with people. I mean, sometimes she's shady, but like, she really does sort of like get involved, and I think that makes her more popular.
Is this planned out though? Because I feel like the Taylor Swift, Katy Perry thing was like not real. That's just my hypothesis. But maybe it's just a publicity stunt.
No, I think
you think it's true.
women.
Cardi B.
I'm just hoping that maybe the world is a nice place.
No, Cardi B's real. That's what I got from it. There's nothing fake about Cardi B with this.
Going through that phone and like hundreds of texts.
Yeah.
No,
I'm excited to see what happens next time.
Me too, I can't wait. We'll stay tuned. But also, Halloween is only one day away, but it's not too late to get that spooky look ready, and we can help. Britt & Co is here to show you how to master a 2-minute Halloween look. Whether you're going trick-or-treating or dressing up with your coworkers, we'll get you ready for the haunted holiday. Here to demonstrate these chilling looks is Britt & Co beauty editor Rebecca Norris.
Yay! Oh my gosh.
Welcome back.
Squeeze it in. Hey.
Hello, Rebecca. Hello. I know you. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys, so Halloween is like the Super Bowl of Britt & Co's year. We have a very big presence on Pinterest, and I'm not joking. Halloween starts trending in July.
Wow.
July is when people start looking for their costumes, getting all their ideas. Our traffic from July until October is like, so, and costumes and makeup are like the key thing that we do. We've done some incredible looks before.
Yeah.
Like what, Disney villains? Maleficent.
Yeah, Ursula.
Cruella de Vil, I think we've done.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we've done
The
like
pet transformations.
we do a lot of animals. Yes,
that.
dog. I mean, you've done now Lucas and Allie today. Can you explain their looks, Rebecca?
Totally. So we have a very minimal little space angel going on.
A space bitch.
Yeah.
Space bitch. Yes, that's what we called it on Britt & Co.
Exactly. And it's so easy to create, y'all. All you need is like colorful eyeshadow and a really fluffy brush. Make it go on really light and top it off with white eyeliner. And I mean, look at her.
But you didn't do anything special. Like, this is the key that you can do this in like less than 5 minutes with the stuff you might already have in your makeup bag.
Totally.
Maybe not you, Lucas, but or maybe you.
I take
don't
more
know.
work.
A little bit more. But I mean, still, even with yours, all it is lines and dots. All he has on his face is black eyeliner and white eyeliner. That's literally all that it is. And it was like super simple to create.
And what is his look?
He's a pop art archer type.
You know,
character.
pop art where they have like very contoured faces. I mean, it's like the new Kim Kardashian beauty line, I
Of course, I
think.
feel like Kim
Exactly.
Kardashian.
Yeah, like you're very, the nose, it's all like slimmed down.
Yeah, and the key is to just contour. So anywhere you'd contour is where you put a line and then
And then the
easy.
brows. The brows
And the
are
brows.
key, right? Like,
brows are
I got
feel
those
like
strong eyebrows.
the
some
strong
guys
eyebrows.
even do the black lip to make that pop, but
Next time.
next time.
So what are we doing today? I get to have some looks
Yes,
done
for
today.
you,
Yeah.
we're going to turn you into a lovely little scarecrow.
Oh.
Scared, guys.
Yeah.
What happens now?
So it's pretty simple. We just have to cover your nose in orange.
Great, I love orange
You know, fun
noses.
stuff.
Okay.
Britt, do you have any
And-
meetings today?
I've got like 4 meetings
With investors and stuff?
like some big partnership deals I'm trying to close, but you know,
I
we
think
can,
it just shows how creative your brand is when you walk in the door
mean,
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It screams Halloween.
you don't get this anywhere. Like, who wouldn't want to do a partnership with me after this?
Ooh, I love that color. I want to wear that on my
Right?
lips.
Is the key to get like
your
this
nose?
really colorful beauty palette or like eyeshadow palette?
Yeah, so Urban Decay is like the best for anything when you need like really high pigmented makeup. And then just black eyeliner. It's like much easier than you'd think it is.
Just black eyeliner?
Yeah, so black eyeliner, and then once we have the orange, you just have to do little stitches on it to make it look like it's a patch.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So we've got your little
do you
scarecrow
do this
patch
for
on.
fun at home?
I do, but I don't usually use makeup. I'm more of a face paint type of girl.
Okay.
Like
When you went out this weekend, what did you do?
I was a zombie, and it was a lot of fun because I had never done like an open mouth zombie look, and so it looked like my mouth was open and like my tongue was out. It was.
Katy Perry does this
was
a
a
lot
lot.
with her eyes,
Yeah.
where she like will close her eyes and then there's giant eyeballs
Yeah.
drawn on her eyelids.
I love that.
Do you have your zombie pictures up anywhere?
Yeah, they're on my Instagram.
Okay,
Now,
cool.
if you can just turn a little bit.
What is your scarecrow inspiration? Is it like The Wiz or
You know, honestly, that was Pinterest.
Sorry.
Wiz, is that a Wizard of Oz reference?
well, there's Wizard of
Yeah.
Oz and there's The Wiz.
But then the Wiz is
With
the
Michael
cooler.
Jackson?
The Wiz is the
Wiz
black
like
one.
Wizard of Oz 2.0.
You gotta ease on down.
I'm
Ease
sorry,
on
that's the
down.
first one I think.
Yeah.
Who is this?
Michael Jackson's
Yeah.
scarecrow is like
So good.
Did
So-
you guys dress up for Halloween? You guys? I'm trying to look at you, but I
Yeah.
can't really.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Well, you'll see.
We're gonna reveal our
Yeah, we're gonna dress up
Tomorrow.
tomorrow on the
Okay.
show.
because I'm gonna do the same thing.
But this weekend I did go out. My friends threw a Roaring 20s party, so I dressed as like a flapper girl, and I got the little
Lots of fringe.
feathered hairpiece.
Your caption was Prohibition canceled, I believe, which
Prohibition
was
is
I
good.
love that.
canceled.
Yes.
So,
Because we got very drunk.
so right now you're just drawing like stitches and patches on me? Is this
Yeah.
what's happening?
So you do gray, and then just to like do your little patch, and then
Should I be like a fierce scarecrow?
You're definitely a fierce.
Yeah.
You're on.
Smize.
Like in my
Can you
big
smize a
partner
little?
you have to
meetings after.
smize. All about the
There you go.
smizing. And it's
Ira
really
taught me how to do
simple.
this.
And you just have
She
to
didn't
do.
actually, but I saw it on her show.
And then we would just do, you know, pigtails. I don't have the hair ties on here, I don't think.
You can imagine.
You know,
Pigtails.
pigtails. Here they are.
Oh my God, I'm the
you
cutest.
did.
I mean,
Love
the fiercest
it.
scarecrow ever.
That's great. And that literally took like 2 minutes.
Literally 2 minutes. I mean, obviously, if you have a
Work,
few more
work,
minutes to
work,
spare,
work,
you can make
work.
it like that much better and make
Guys, I
everything
can't stop
super high
smizing.
pigmented, and it does make a difference.
Right.
But still, you can do it in 5 minutes, easy.
So like you
So
don't have a
cute.
costume,
Looks
like
good.
literally
Yeah.
do the scarecrow.
Dress in all
take
black,
The,
put a hat
yeah,
on.
you're a
Put a hat
scarecrow.
on.
You're-
I'm a scarecrow.
Yeah.
I have to do this week. I have like little kids that I have to. This is my first time like really going for it with
Yes.
face makeup. So thank you for the prep. I
Yes.
feel
Of
like I know what I'm
course.
doing now, and I'm just gonna take this.
Yeah, all yours.
Thanks. Thank you.
And do you guys have
Love.
more different examples on the site of
Oh my
like
God.
things people
We have
can
like
Thousands.
a million Halloween costume and makeup tutorials on Brit & Co. Brit.co.
Yeah.
Really
It's
is.
not too late.
It's not too late, and they're all like last minute, like this stuff that you
Yeah.
can do with
Couples
stuff that you
costumes,
stole
group
from your friend
costumes.
Rebecca.
Exactly.
Love it. Thank you so much,
You're
Rebecca.
so welcome.
So awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, y'all.
You can check out more Halloween tutorials at Brit.co.
All right, guys, now it's time for our special guest. We all know Giuliana Rancic as the host of E! News and the ruler of red carpets. But now she's joining forces with husband and entrepreneur Bill Rancic to tackle cancer care. The two are partnering with Astellas for its C3 Prize, a global challenge designed to inspire innovative non-treatment ideas to improve the lives of cancer patients, caregivers, and their loved ones. Let's take a look.
Hey guys.
Thank you.
I just wanted to take a second to say thank you all for coming. And when Astellas asked my wife Giuliana and I to partner with the C3 Prize, we instantly said yes. We knew this was something we had to be a part of. You see, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2003, and we battled this together. And we learned firsthand the real-world challenges and obstacles that come with this horrible disease. Now, as an entrepreneur, I see tremendous opportunity for innovation and impactful solutions to help people battle this disease. So I'm truly honored and privileged to be here. I'm excited to hear from the winners and learn a little bit more about their incredible ideas. And I'm honored to be on this distinguished panel. So thank you all for coming.
Everyone, please give a warm Bill Brunch welcome to Bill and Giuliana Rancic.
Thank you.
We are so excited to have you both here.
Thank
Big
you.
fans of both of you. Giuliana, I want to start with you.
Yeah.
You have been cancer-free for 7 years.
I have.
Give me a
Yes,
applause.
yes, thank you. Thank you, yeah.
How does that feel, just looking back on the journey you've been on?
It feels incredible. I mean, you know, when you're going through it, it's really hard to see the end of it. You know, it's hard to see when people tell you, you're going to get through this, you found cancer early, you're going to be okay. It's just hard to start picturing a life without thinking about cancer all the time and letting it consume you. And I really realized it was around the 5-year mark where I kind of just tried to let it go as much as I ever had before and just really try to move on with my life. And so going into now my 7th year, it's just remarkable, you know, and I'm very, very blessed and, you know, just so happy that I'm healthy.
Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah, thank God, yeah.
And I love that you said that cancer care is more than just medicine. What do you mean by that?
It is definitely more than medicine. I mean, when I was going through cancer, you know, you hear the doctors give you the information they need to give you. But at the same time, when you leave the office, it's like, what now? And I think, you know, so much of it was having Bill in my life as a caregiver and also just having that incredible support system and those resources to just get through the day and go from day to day. And I just needed, you know, certain words of advice and just certain things in my life that I leaned on that just helped me move on from day to day, you know?
And Bill, I think what's what you guys are doing, you guys often talk about the role of the caregiver, which isn't often talked about in people's cancer journeys. So Bill, what's your journey been like through the past 7 years?
Well, you know, I think the caregiver has to wear a lot of different hats. You know, you become a short order cook and a comedian, and I was a male nurse. She was calling me Greg Fokker for a long time.
Meet the parents.
Meet the parents.
Yeah.
But I think the most important role, and with this being, you know, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I think the most important role a caregiver can play is helping the patient make decisions based on knowledge rather than decisions based on emotion. And when you're going through that situation, you're almost in sensory overload because you can't believe what's happening. Things are happening at such a fast rate. The caregiver really kind of helps slow the pace down, process all the information, and make sure that the patient is armed with the tools to make the right decisions.
It's so true. Like, I have to say, you know, there were so many days and especially nights where you wake up in the middle of the night and you're just a wreck, you know, and emotional, and you just, it's an awful thing to go through, especially, you know, I was 36 years old, diagnosed with breast cancer with no family history and very healthy. So it was a shock of a lifetime and something I never saw coming. Like, one day I was on my way to work, you know, like to the red carpet, and the next day I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And, you know, it's just such a difficult time, and especially like navigating that time when I never expected it to happen to me, especially at such a young age, was so hard. And having Bill there to help me, and as Bill said, take the emotion out of decisions was so important, because everything I was doing was based on emotion. Like, so the doctor would say something and I'd be like, no, like, I can't do that, you know, and Bill would be like, okay, you know, let's go home and let's talk about this. Something great that Bill did too was take me out of settings that were medical or very heavy all the time. So like, instead of like, let's go home and sit on our sofa and have that deep conversation, it was like, you know what, let's go get dinner, you know, and over dessert we can chat about this. And it was just like on a hike. We used to make a lot of our decisions on a hike. So trying to get out of that setting, that like scary setting of being at a doctor's office or whatever it was really helpful.
And I think putting things on paper, because you often catastrophize things in your mind.
Right.
Your mind can be, you know, very damaging when you're just constantly feeding the anxiety of what you're going through. So, you know, I broke out my old legal pad, and we'd write things down. You know, it's the way my dad did it, right?
Yeah.
The yellow legal pad. And when you read it back, 9 times out of 10, it's never nearly as bad as the scenario played out in your mind.
Right, just don't Google it.
Yeah, oh my God, worst thing you can do.
No WebMD.
Holy
And
Toledo.
you guys have a new partnership with Stellas with the C3 Prize.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. I've never heard of it before. Can you tell our audience what that is?
Well, the C3, it's changing cancer care, and really it was, I just got back from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Stellas is trying to reach out to innovators and entrepreneurs to find non-treatment ideas to help change cancer care. And we had over 70 submissions from all over the world. I mean, countries, you name it. And we were at the World Cancer Congress about 3 weeks ago. I flew to Malaysia, and the 3 finalists presented. I was a judge.
Wow.
It was not an easy job because everyone had these incredible ideas to help the whole process of cancer. Ultimately, there was one winner, and she had a great idea. She's creating a digital series with celebrities from Africa, and they're going to help educate people about cancer and breast cancer because there's so many myths in these smaller regions of Africa where they don't have access to the information they need. And she's creating these digital series that are going to change lives forever. She won $50,000. It's going to fund her whole program for 2 years, which is amazing.
That's
incredible.
Juliana, you mentioned how surprised you were when you were 36 and you were diagnosed.
Yeah.
What do you wish someone would have told you before that time?
You know, I think the big thing that I remember happening all the time was I thought that like, okay, I have all the questions ready to go that I'm gonna ask my doctor at today's visit. And like all you do is like count down the minutes to your doctor's appointment. You're like excited to, because you wanna ask all these questions and figure out like, what are you doing and what's your next path, you know, step, and what do the next 6 months and year look like? So I'd have all these questions in my head, and now I do this for a living. You know, I'm a reporter, I'm a journalist, I do it. We all do the same thing, and so it's like you know, it's funny because even on red carpets, like I don't prepare questions really. Like I mean, because I'm a fan, so I watch all year, so I'm always kind of prepared to begin with. But it's funny because on a red carpet, like you're there, you're having a fun conversation, everything's great. But at the doctor's office,
legal pad
I would well, I wouldn't do that. So I would go in, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I do this for a living. I've got all my questions ready. And the second he'd be like, do you have any questions? I'm like, I think I'm good, you know. And I'm like, wait, I know I had a million questions. And I'm like, I know I have questions, but could I call you later, you know? And I'd walk out, and I would just be like, I cannot believe I didn't ask that one question that my, you know, other medical professional had told me to ask, and like it was just so. You know, I was just very, like regretting that. So I think one thing for sure is, as Bill said, I love it. He calls it his 99-cent solution, which is that legal pad.
It might be $1.20 now. I don't know. Inflation,
the price went up. So really just writing down those questions and realizing that, you know, breast cancer is not one type. Like, you know, if, you know, my type of cancer was not the same as the next woman's cancer. And so it's very, very different from woman to woman. And so therefore, the treatment plan is very, very different. So you really want to ask specific questions about your cancer so you can come up with the best treatment plan, of course, with your medical professional, but to come up with the best plan for you, And
don't be afraid to get more than one opinion. Right. Because you know what, we found that, you know, with multiple doctors, there were multiple interpretations of what was going on. So, you know, I think it's okay to get a second opinion and sometimes a third opinion so you can make the right decision.
And just one other thing, because I know so many young people are watching right now, and you all are young too, which is awesome. What I just wanted to say is that...
I feel like an old man.
I'm like, you're not old.
I'm 45.
No, you're not.
No, she's not.
I was like, no, you're not.
She looks great.
I was like, are you joking right now?
Are you saying 45 is old?
Doing Korea.
No, I just added some years.
Wait a second.
Like, you're old as dirt. Well, you know,
I maybe should have shot a little higher.
There we go.
I see what I did there.
But I have to say, you know, you know, I have this incredible platform to reach so many young women with the type of job I have. And so maybe one thing too was the self-exams. I mean, I was pretty good about it, but really being proactive about your health, doing those self-exams every month. Since I've been diagnosed and went public, I meet so many women who share their story with me. And they share how they found their cancer. And it's incredible the amount of women who find it themselves, like through just feeling themselves, and a breast exam, as opposed to, of course, mammograms as well. But so many of your viewers, for instance, are under 40. So a lot of people say to me, you know, I'm 28, and I know someone in her 20s diagnosed. What can I do? Because I'm too young to get a mammogram. And so I cannot tell you, stress the importance of those self-exams. So many women, especially young women, find their cancer themselves. And it's really just like doing it every month, feeling around, and then that way you know your body so that, God forbid, one day there is a change, you're like, you're on it that month.
Can you get a mammogram when you're 30? Is that like a rule that you can't?
It depends also on family history and that sort of thing. So it's really something that you know, you could talk to your doctor about. Typically, the suggested
risk-averse person.
The recommendation's 40 and above. But absolutely, I mean, I think for every woman, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can be very, you know, 18, 19, college-age students. Just going in to your doctor, letting them know if there is a family history. That way, you can come up with some sort of a plan, and your doctor can say to you, okay, maybe at this age we should start doing this or that. But you have to be proactive about your health. I mean, we're all so busy with our lives. We have so much going on. And I always say, like, you know, you share information with your friends about like the hottest trends or what's new in music or whatever it is. But to be able to share information too, like about, hey, by the way, have you done a self-exam this month? Like do it as a friend. Tell your friends to do it too, and just remind each other.
It could be like a girls' night out.
There we go. You know what I mean?
In other news, you returned to E, and we're so thrilled to see you there. Are you excited to be back?
I'm loving it. It's so wonderful. I mean, I've worked at E a long time, you know, so 16 years, since 2002. It's been an incredible ride. You know, when I started there, I was kind of the new reporter on the block, and then to just have been there all these years.
There's nobody better on the red carpet. Would you guys agree?
She's the rule of the red carpet. Like, we named her the rule of the red carpet.
Biggest fan.
It's fun. I try to make it fun. You know, it's a red carpet.
She's the best.
You're a pro. No, after like you are.
She is.
All the time.
She is the red carpet.
You know, it's.
I interview them all the time. But you know, it's been wonderful. So I stepped back for 3 years from E! News to go to Chicago, where Bill's from, and where we have a home, and that was kind of a restaurant.
Several, which I love to visit when I go to Chicago.
Really?
Yes, they're amazing. Yeah.
I'm in DC too. Just
that's awesome.
Shout out.
That's where I'm from.
So RPM. So we're really focusing on that, and also I wanted to focus on growing some other businesses I was working on. Like I just launched a skincare line, a clean skincare line. So it was just a perfect time to kind of take a step back, really be able to spend more time with my family, have my son start school. And then 3 years later, it just felt like the right time. And Jason Kennedy, who's the co-host of E! News, is one of my dearest friends and our dearest friends. We vacation together. Like, we're just like...
Yeah, you do look a little like JK.
Oh, look at your compliment.
Oh, me and Jason?
All three of you look alike,
Really?
I think. I don't know.
That's a big compliment.
He's like my little brother.
Hey, if he needs a sub one day, I'm happy to.
No problem.
I'm happy to go to LA this week.
Absolutely. He's like, I'll go tomorrow.
No, we do treat him like a little brother. Like he bought a fancy car recently. I called him up. I said, dude, what are you doing? Save money. Like he's like, you know, I had to chew him out. Like you're spending how much a month?
Give some financial advice. No, but you know, he really is. We're so close. Like we can talk about anything, even that. But we travel together. We've taken so many vacations together as couples. His wife's lovely, Lauren, is incredible. So they're just really good people, good couple. That was actually a huge driving force in terms of going back, was being able to work alongside one of my best friends. And also just everyone at E! You know, I mean, from 3 years ago, it's most the same producers and writers and behind the scenes people. All of us, you know, they're all still there. And so to be able to go back and be together as a family, as a work family, is incredible.
Favorite red carpet interview
Oh, geez,
of all time?
there have been so many.
Such a hard question.
That is a hard question. I would have to say.
That's the hard questions, guys.
It probably involves George Clooney.
What about Lady Gaga?
I do love Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, who eats at our restaurant all the time.
Yeah.
we love her.
She made me sit down at dinner with her one night.
I love how you said that.
Kiss my arm.
But
She's
she
very cool, by
is
the way.
incredible. Yeah, I actually interviewed her recently, and she's so lovely, and like really makes you feel like you're the only person there, you know? And so yeah, since the first time I interviewed her, I'd have to say Lady Gaga is definitely one of my top favorite people to interview. And George Clooney. George Clooney on the red carpet.
Yeah, you've been very vocal about your love for George Clooney.
I've been very vocal.
Like, even I know that. She loves George Clooney.
I know. You know what it is? I'll tell you. He's one of the biggest, you know, through the years that I've been on, I mean, he's really one of the biggest stars in the world. Right. And what I love about him, and I noticed it from the very first time I interviewed him, he walks in the room, and before the cameras turn on or before anything, he goes up to every single person, introduces himself, how are you, where are you from? He's just a lovely human being, and I just think
tells Bill she loves him.
Exactly.
And he makes a great tequila.
Casamigos tequila. We love the Casamigos. So he's just, I really, that goes a long way with me. I just love like authentic, nice people, you know? And so, yeah, I love interviewing him.
Yeah, and you two created an app called Pair, which is for parents. It's a judgment-free zone for them to give advice and get advice.
That's right.
That's so cool. Can you tell us more about that?
Go ahead.
No, you go. I talk a lot.
It's called
Please go ahead.
It's called Pair, P-E-A-R, and it's really a place we have 6 or 7 different experts. We have a child psychologist, we have a child nutritionist, fashion expert, Lonnie Paul, who's a designer who helps design nurseries. There's a forum where it's judgment-free. You can ask advice, you can give advice, and you know we don't allow any haters or any of some of the things that happen in some of these forums that happen. So we really are proud of it. We created it out of necessity because we had so many questions when we were raising Duke, and we said, well, let's create a safe place for people to go, nice. And it's doing really well. We're 4 or 5 months into this?
Yeah, we just launched it a little while ago, and yeah, it's been going on. It's for parents of kids of all ages, which is nice too, because I think there are a lot of resources for little kids, but it's nice. A lot of people write in about teenagers, you know, and they're
Juuling. New thing now.
The Juuling.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, you know, Dr. John Duffy, who's our clinical psychologist,
put it away.
He's very, you know, he's kind of his expertise is teenagers, and so he just has incredible information. So we're also, we've done a few podcasts, but we really want to build that out a little bit more, do more of those, and just be a resource for parents.
We have great experts. I mean, Dr. Duffy is off the charts. Like, he gives parents such great advice. He gives us great advice.
Great advice.
So that's one of the perks. He works on
Pair.
Pair.
Exactly.
We can like call him and say, hey. You know, can you help us with this?
We'll do like a podcast with him, and I'm like, thank you for joining us, Dr. Duffy. I'm like, don't go anywhere.
Our legal pad out again for all the questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Speaking of Duke, I hear you have a Halloween story.
Oh my gosh, yes. Duke is, he's 6 years old. And is he walking around right now in New York as a mummy?
He's a mummy. He's on he travels with us a lot, and when he goes on the road with us, we make him do like scavenger hunts. So today he has to go to the Statue of Liberty, he has to go to the top of the Empire State Building, he has to go to the MoMA, he has to take pictures. Long story short, he loves aviation. So for his 6th birthday, he wanted a cake that was Emirates and Etihad Airlines, right? So the folks at Emirates saw this because it was on social media. They sent him a full-blown Emirates captain's outfit, hat, the bars. So he wants to be an Emirates A380, not just any plane, an A380 captain.
But he wants to be that, but he has like 6 different costumes he wants to do, which I love. I appreciate as someone who loves red carpets and award shows and
we
changes.
love Halloween.
There you go. So it's just really cute because he's like every day a new outfit is added to the repertoire, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need like a van trick or treating that has like all of our wardrobe changes. I'm like, this is like becoming a huge production.
It's the Oscars.
I know. It's so cute, but I love a good exactly at the Oscars. I like to change my dresses. So yeah, maybe my son got that from me doing the wardrobe changes. You know, so I love it.
Well, I look forward to seeing which one he lands on.
There we go.
All great ideas.
Thank you.
Bill and Giuliana, thank you so much for joining us.
Such a great show.
And you can learn more about the C3 Prize Global Challenge by visiting www.c3prize.com. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
guys.
Well, the premiere date for the last season of Broad City has been announced, and fans are getting emotional. The 5th and final season will premiere on January 24th on Comedy Central, but Abby and Alana aren't leaving the network just yet. The duo is staying in business under a development deal with 3 projects in the works. Let's take a look at the new teaser for season 5.
No, Abby, don't! I'm gonna lose a flip-flop!
I
I thought we were all wearing our old catering uniforms together. Come on, dude. When I catch you, I swear I'm gonna rip out your disgusting little ball sack. Stop for the FBI, bitch! Alana! Yes. Power through up. Help me! Get out of the way! I don't even know what to do with this. Let's go, 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 go. Holy shit! Nice. Okay, season 5 premieres January 24th, 10 p.m. It's so good.
Can't believe it's ending.
I know.
But they have 3 other projects in the works.
Oh, that's true.
But
I'm
This show
excited.
is
They're not going anywhere, though.
they're not going anywhere, and it's ending. I'm always with TV shows about quality over quantity,
Yeah.
and this show, when I've read interviews with them, it's very difficult for them to do because they write it, now they direct a lot of episodes, of course they star in it, so to see how Broad City the past 5 years has grown, it was a web series, and I don't know if you guys, Abby actually revealed this in her book, that I forget what her book title is called, but they actually pitched it to FX and developed it for like a year with them, and then FX said no to it because it was too girly.
To Broad City?
To Broad City. So then Amy Poehler was like, their
girly.
EP was like, you don't want to be at a network that treats you like a bad boyfriend.
Right.
And they found Comedy Central, who was like, let them do whatever they wanted and make this incredible show with, characters we love like Garrel. Remember Garrel, who eats the yogurt?
Oh, it's so gross.
And I love Comedy Central's rebranding that's happening
Yeah.
right now, too. It's like getting a little younger, a little cooler, like back to stand. I mean, how do you feel about this, Allie?
I mean, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Comedy Central, but I comedy.
But you will now.
But I will now, because the rebranding.
Obviously.
I do think you're right that the timing is so important. Like, what was so beautiful about Broad City is that it captured these 2 girls in this like moment of time, being like in your early 20s and like just not knowing anything. And you're right, like it's been 5 years, it's probably time to close that chapter.
Damn, it's so good though.
It's
It is
so great.
funny. I can just rewatch those
All the time.
episodes.
Like the episode that takes entirely, like I always say, and people always give me shit for when I say it's a very New York show. So if you live in New York, you kind of get
Yes.
some of the jokes a little bit more. Like the entire episode just on McDougal Street. Like that is so funny how absurd it is. Like it's just nonstop. Or when they're going through the subway trains and each different train has a different like. There's just a pile of poop in one of them. I'm sorry. It's like
I think
will
that's the second time you've
fangirl.
mentioned that on this show.
Oh yeah, I will fangirl over the show. I love them.
To your point, there is this guy on stilts, and he's dressed as
Yeah.
a tree. And when you take a photo with him, he goes, trees. And they had that in Broad City, and it's such a quintessential New York thing, and like you would only know if you lived here.
I remember when I was interning at The Tonight Show, they came on as guests, and it was early on in Broad City, and I made the signs for the dressing room. So I made a sign that said Abby and a sign that said Alana, and the 2 of them came, and I didn't watch the show, and I didn't really know which one was which, and they kept switching dressing rooms, and I kept having to give them coffee, but I was like, that's Abby, but she's in Alana's dressing room, and that's Alana. It was so confusing, but yeah.
And then you became best friends.
And then we became best friends.
Yeah, I feel like, and the cool thing about them, I think, is that it's like the story of 2 YouTubers
Yeah.
who like made it. You know,
I know. It's so
like
good to see.
it's so cool to know that anyone can sort of start their own show from their bedroom, their home, and then end up writing books and doing Viacom deals and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, I didn't know the whole girly thing, so that plus the obstacles that you have to face just to get like seen.
And
that was
Abby
cool.
and Abby just said that in her book. I might regret this, that it is still difficult. Like it's not. It's like even though they have now they're big stars, they have this big Viacom deal, which allows them to first look deal with to go on any Viacom network. So it's across the whole, not just Comedy Central, which is really great for them. It's like they still face challenges as young women and still have to convince usually older white men who are these top executives, like that their art matters and values. So congrats to Comedy Central. I watched Inside Amy Schumer, I watched Broad City. I remember both those shows came on. That was kind of like the last time Comedy Central rebranded a little bit. So I'm excited for this new rebranding. They have a show by the 2 SNL former head writers that's going to premiere right after the Broad City premiere that I'm going to watch. So yeah, they're trying.
Yeah.
I'm all about Comedy Central.
Apparently. Check it out.
Well, Twitter likes may soon be a thing of the past. According to a report from The Telegraph, the social media site is looking to get rid of the heart-shaped like button as a way to improve debate on the platform. The company quickly responded to the claim, neither confirming nor denying, but tweeting, "We've been saying for a while, we are rethinking everything about the service to ensure we are incentivizing healthy conversation that includes the like button. We are in the early stage of the work and have no plan to share right now."
What
a lot to say about this.
What's the point of it if you can't be validated for your tweet?
Yeah, you need to be liked. I mean, of course. Well, so I was really early on Twitter, like the 2000th user. I know, like 0506.
Ashton Kutcher was doing it.
Everyone got their best usernames, like @Brit, @Jason, like whatever. And so they always had likes. I just feel like it's a fundamental part of what Twitter is.
Well,
it's what
actually,
social media
they didn't always have likes. They originally had faves.
Yeah.
Remember, it used to be
Faves,
stars.
likes.
It was completely different. I like the stars more than the hearts. I thought the hearts were. It was weird because they said that people didn't understand what a fave was, but they knew what a like was. But I thought faves are cooler than likes. And the heart, I think, is a little too, like, intense. I prefer the stars.
The star means you're gonna, like, save it, though. Whereas you just want to show someone, like, a little bit of a love, like a high
The
five.
fave seems like you're almost pinning it.
Yeah, you don't want to pin.
But you don't pin it. A pin tweet goes on top of your profile, but
Twitter
a fave would just go into your like.
Twitter should probably focus on kicking all the Nazis, misogynists, and racists off their platforms before they decide to deal with the like button. Like, that platform is so filled with hatred and trolls that maybe they should focus on something that actually matters.
So in this article, Twitter is boasting about that they've lost 9 million users because they say they are kicking these people off, but we know it's a little too late because actually, Shannon, what you said.
So the man who was sending bombs this past week, he had been alerted. They alerted about him harassing people on Twitter so many times, and whenever people like contacted Twitter about it, they were like, "Oh, this doesn't violate our terms."
Right.
When he was literally making threats towards people's lives, and obviously we've learned he's very dangerous.
Yeah.
So it seems like Twitter, Jack is just like in a cloud somewhere. I feel like every time we're like, hey, look, this person's sending me death threats, they're like, that doesn't violate the terms. And you will literally, if you quote what someone's sending you and you're trying to complain, you will get your profile shut down quicker than the person who's harassing you.
And you're speaking from personal experiences, right?
I know tons and tons of women who are like, hey, help me out. This guy said this. And then for quoting what they were saying, they get taken down.
But
for the person who's harassing them.
No, I think that's an issue with like the interface though. That like when they picks up on that text and they just shut you down. It's a problem.
It's so weird though. I mean, I feel like this is not new. We've been working on this for years, and there's no good answer.
Yeah.
The only time I ever saw any social media network do anything was when Instagram took away the snakes from Taylor Swift's profile. Like, that was the only time that anyone ever stepped up for anyone. Remember when everyone was putting snakes on Taylor Swift's Instagram? And then, like, Instagram went through and, like, deleted all the snakes for her. And I was like, thank you for taking care of one person.
That's why she had that big snake during her performance.
Yeah.
I don't like Taylor. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Whoa, we got a Swiftie right here.
Oh, the Battle of the Brits.
It's like you're Nicki and I'm Cardi B. You know, we just need to fight it out.
Brits dragging you all around.
Exactly.
No, definitely these Silicon Valley companies, I mean, since 2016, since the election, really been forced to confront a lot of the problems with their sites, from the trolling to the Russian hacking. So I think there's still a long way to go. And
it's also the mental health component, right? So I mean, having a husband now that works in mental health, who also worked in social media, he was early at Facebook and started his own company, but the likes and the follower counts are the two things that actually cause us anxiety and FOMO and depression. And if social media actually got rid of all of that, we might actually be in a better state.
So you're saying it could be a good thing to take away the likes?
I think for like actual mental health awareness, you could get information still, but you're not so worried about how many likes you have, comments, all of those things, or even followers,
What do you think about losing the follower count, though?
I think it's good for mental health. It's bad for each of these systems, but they're all monetized through advertising, and so they use these as gamification techniques to get people to try to up their points. It's like old school Mario Brothers, right? You just want more gold coins, you want more likes, you want more followers, and that means you'll be more active, and that creates more advertising revenue. So at the end of the day, it's a business model question, if you want me to go deep on it. But really, like, it's like the advertising internet is what's causing such terrible mental health problems in our country.
Yeah, but back to the like versus favorite. I actually use the like button to some like articles that I want to read later, because we forget, I mean, actually, we don't forget is that Twitter and Facebook are huge sources of news for people. And with Twitter, I follow a lot of news organizations are really reputable people who retweet articles. I like them because then I'll go back to my life and say, I want to read this later. So I don't want to lose
You
that.
need the star, though.
The star, then.
The pin or the star.
Yeah.
Not
or
the heart.
Facebook has the save.
Or you can just find a way to manage your life.
I know, that's true.
Yeah, or you can even save it to yourself.
Yeah, right.
I save myself all
There's
the
other
time.
ways, like they won't even know that I save it or something like. There's other.
I never DM myself.
Oh, I DM myself all the time. All the time.
Hey,
I'm always in my own DMs.
You look hot today.
Yeah.
I'm always sliding into my own DMs.
Yeah,
That's actually
right?
smart. You just DM.
You gotta.
Then I can check back. Oh, I set myself an article to read. Thanks, Lucas.
Yeah.
I don't mind getting rid of the likes, but I do wish there was an edit button. In the same article, they mentioned that that's something that they've been constantly kind of weighing.
Spell
whether
check
they should
purposes
do.
alone.
I know Kim Kardashian's really pushing
Why
for
would
it.
they not make an edit button?
I don't know.
Why?
Do
They want you to
know it?
live with your failures.
Yeah, do you know that?
I think because like if you're putting something out there and you're getting a ton of likes and
right.
retweets, but then you totally change it. So you're like, Lucas is the coolest person ever, like, and then I say Lucas sucks. You see that like 100 people have liked that, and that changes the whole message.
That's a really clever way to troll someone.
But
That's creative.
they could do the edit button and have a history on it so that it could show like this has been edited in case that happens.
You
I
can
think
do
like-
revision history like Google Docs.
Yeah, or Facebook does that
Facebook
with
has
their
that
edits.
now.
Seems like a lot of work, but
That's
yes.
a lot.
Do you think if they took away the like button that you would be more likely to retweet? Because I feel like
Instead
people
of like?
don't want to retweet, but how would you show, like, if you really like something and you're like, I can't like it,
You'd have
I
to
guess
retweet
my
it.
only choice is to
No, I
retweet
wouldn't.
it.
I would just wouldn't like. Wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Don't do that.
I might retweet
That's what
more.
they're trying.
I might retweet more if liking wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Oh, she said it here first, everyone.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
out,
things to
Internet.
ponder.
Retweet more.
like a retweet's a big thing. And I want like in my 12 followers, I want them to see this tweet from Kamala Harris. So I retweet. I'm like, read it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a big
It's true.
endorsement
Shoving
for when
it
I
in someone's
retweet.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's what a retweet is. Like,
It is. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
A lot of things to think about here.
A lot
Go
of things to
retweet,
think-
guys.
Go retweet. Well, that is all from us. Britt, thanks so much for joining us. Retweet, as always. I never felt more beautiful.
Yeah, me.
We will see you all tomorrow, same time, same table. Goodbye, everyone.